So we left off last trip with second wind on the hard standing at Port Solent. We've had some quotes, so we need to now move it from over to the Hamble to Desty Marine. It would have been nice if one of the local companies at Port Solent would have picked up the work, but they just didn't seem to be interested. So rather than paying £1,800 to get it road transported the 18 miles to Desty, it was cheaper for me to put her back in the water and motor her around under her own power. We didn't sell at the time. We didn't know what damage was done to the hull. So when we got to Desty Marine, we had a small issue. The solar panel and davits were in the way. They were too tall to go into Desty's shed. Luckily for me, mine are actually bolt together, not welded stainless steel. So 45 minutes later I had it all collapsed. Didn't even have to disconnect the electrics for the wind turbine. So while Desty are doing their thing, I thought it'd be good for me to get on and get the bits done that I can get done. As you can see, this is one of the roof pieces that got burnt, but to be fair, it only got charred. It didn't really get too bad, but we're going to replace it all anyway. So we're going to make a new one of these. So the wood I'm using is actually outdoor grade plywood, 12mm. I didn't see the point in using marine ply since it's all going to get painted and it's inside the boat anyway. And as you can see, it's got some other going to have to plane that. So I've got the circular saw at an angle there. That'll get the biggest part of the angle cut for me. And then I can just plane the rest and then sand it. Well, that's that. So now we're going to plane the rest of it. All this is going to get painted with bilge paint. Even though it's brand new timber, it won't do any harm, and it'll all match in with the other stuff which I'm doing in the boat. Now on to the electrical box. So as you can see, that got pretty badly damaged to the point that it was unrepairable. So I had to make a complete new one. Also, you can see the unit there's a little bit scarred. I have to do that as well. So I made an MDF copy, took it down the boat, made sure that it fitted how I wanted it to fit. It's a completely different design as to what was there before. This is going to be a completely enclosed box. It's going to be a lot better design and a lot better for all the electrics. I don't know if you can see that, but that's sort of the plan for the new electronics box. Makes no sense to you guys, but it makes total sense to me. Anyway. So I'm just cutting it down to size. I'm not going to show you me making the box. A box is a box at the end of the day, but it was all glued with epoxy and screwed with stainless steel screws, of course, and then sanded and painted and varnished. I also stuck on teak veneer on the front face, just so that it'll match in nice with the units that are already there. So there you have it, all painted up, obviously holes to let the cables through. and ventilation. Completely sealed unit, so if any deck fittings leak or anything like that, no water's going to get in. All the switches are have a trip on them, ampage suiting the product that's going to be on them. The black face on the door is actually just sticky back plastic onto the plywood. You can see from the previous picture, all this here was burnt. So I've routed out the laminate front, and I'm going to sand obviously all this all the way along, get it back to how it was. This was the side the fire was. You saw in the other picture, this was where the electric cabinet was. That's all brand new. This I can save. I can splice in a laminate, teak laminate there. Won't be exactly the same, but it'll be close. And by the time it's varnished 5-6 times, it'll all blend in, and hopefully it won't be an invisible mend, but it won't catch your eye unless you're looking for it. The back, obviously, you can see, although the light's not very good, where the wood was protected, where there was a piece on it, it's fine. But I've just sanded that back. I've taken like just 5 minutes really, and that was like that. So that was all. Don't know if that helps, probably not. Yeah, so I'm going to sand all this. This is all going to get painted white. What I'll use is a bilge paint, which is like a rubberized sealant, and I'll do that. I'll probably do one coat of half varnish, half thinners to start with, just to absorb into it, and then I'll go straight over the top of that then with just white bilge paint all over the back, which will seal it, make it nice. And then the front obviously will just be lovingly restored. Obviously where I took the dowels out, I've made a mess of there, so I'll have to clean them up. Not too bothered about these in here, them I can actually don't mind the screws being on show there, but the rest of it I want it to be pretty. So there you go. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's just the pattern I've made for the vinyl, not the vinyl, sorry, the wood veneer. I bought a 3-meter roll of veneer, teak veneer. Has got like a black flake in it, which the original doesn't have, but once it's varnished up, it doesn't notice too much. And they did say when I bought the veneer that it might be a different colour, but it'll do for what I need. I don't particularly want to have to start replacing whole bits of timber. That's just counterproductive. I want to keep it as original as possible. So yeah, so I'll just sand all this down, and then we'll give it a coat of paint. So you can see already how it's coming up, and it still smells of fire. That's the best way I've found, pair of scissors. Now, you all know about this stuff. It's sort of tacky as hell now, so hopefully you can get it. You want to hit it this. Yellow. So that went to shit. That's what happens when the phone rings. And yeah, Sharon was asking me how my day was going. Not so good. I was last my glue as well, so I now need new glue. Bollocks. So you might be thinking, what is he doing? He's cracked it all and he's messed it all up. What I'm doing is to get it down to good wood, I had to router out thicker than the veneer. So I was always going to put two pieces of veneer on, one straight on top of the other, to get the thickness right. And as this is not going to be seen, it's actually going to be sanded. I can still use this piece, and that will do that. So not all is lost. It'll dry quite quick, but you should be able to see already it's going to blend a bit about the black flake really, but once it's all varnished to hell, you won't really see it. What I've done with this is that's had its second piece of laminate put in, veneer, which has all been sanded back and done. Everything has had a good sand, inside and out. All the doors taken off, everything I can is taken off. And everything has been thoroughly sanded to get rid of any soot or any discoloration. There's some discoloration I'm not going to get rid of. Some of it is age. Remember, this unit's 35 years old, so I'm just bringing it back. I'm using a satin paint. I don't want a high gloss, although looking at this in high gloss it looks really good. But at the moment I'm painting it with 50% spirit, 50% yacht varnish, and I'll progressively add more varnish to the mix until it becomes 100% varnish. That's going to open up all the pores, it's going to soak right in. Basically, if there is any smell of smoke left, it's going to be hidden or absorbed into the varnish, never to be seen and smelt again. That's the plan anyway. And that's it. That's its first coat and varnish. Again, I'm going to do all the edges, make sure they're all sealed. once all the varnishing's done, I painted it all white on the back just to seal it all. Anyway, back at Desty Marine, you can see the soot damage to the hull of the boat. You can see here, this is where Desty Marine have ground everything back. I've took all the windows out, refurbished them. They've taken all the raw fiberglass back, replaced it with chop weave. I think there's about 4 layers on there. Really nicely done, really strong, even up onto the ceiling. The hull, there's the hull all done. This is what the old deck looked like. You can't see it, but there's a big crack in that. There's a heat crack there from damage from the heat. This is what she looks like now. So that middle section is all brand new, and he's matched the non-skid, the colour, everything. I'm so pleased with the work that Desty Marine have done.